Hello, hello. We're gonna make another jitter patch. We're gonna look at how to place an object in an environment. In the last patch, we just had a video background. Here, we're gonna try to create some kind of spherical photo bubble environment, and we're gonna start manipulating the 3D objects we have. We're also gonna have a quick look at how to record this stuff. So let's just start a new patch. First of all, we're going to create our JIT world. We're going to give it a name. Let's call it Bongo. We want it to be a floating window, meaning that it's always on top, it's never in the back. And we're going to enable it, of course. That should be enough for now. Here it is, Bongo. Now, we're going to add one of our models in here. So JGL, whoops, model. Let's read it. I already know this one. Yep, cool. Gonna add a handle to this so we can move it around. So we're back. Cool. All right. Now let's try to bring in an environment. First of all, there's this object, JGL environment. That allows us to do this. Here in the help patch, it will give you some basic kind of background with colors. You see that the colors here get reflected in this sphere. Now, let me load a different environment. Here's JGL environment with a file. Up. Okay, we got a photo background, and you can see that our environment here gets reflected in this ball. So there's some interaction between the 3D models and the environment around it. This can have some interesting effects. You know what? Let's just take this file to begin with and add it to our environment. And we're not seeing anything yet because we need to put it into a photo bubble. So this is called a skybox. And here we have it. Okay. Now we can't move it around. So what we can do is we can add a handle. Now we can move the environment, but we can't move this guy anymore. So what you usually do is instead of adding a handle, we add some control over the camera. So that's another important object is JitGL camera. And the camera is what is filming our scene. So here we can have a position for the camera where it is, X, Y, Z, so we can move it in the X axis. So just the head seems to be moving, but it's not the head that's moving, it's the camera that's moving. The camera is moving up and down, making the head look like it's moving up and down. Now, we want to move the camera, but we want it to look always at the head. So there's an option for this, and it's called lock look. So this lock look locks the position of where it looks at. So it always looks at the center by default. You can change that if you want. And now if I move the camera, it continues looking at the center. And so the background starts moving too. Okay. So you can get some more interesting moves here. Now, instead of moving the camera around with the messages here, we can also move it with our keyboard. There's an object called JitAnim drive, which you can use to create complex animations. You can have it define complex movements and for now, we're just going to make something simple. We're going to make it listen to the user interface, UI listen. And we'll just go into the help patch to copy out the keyboard. Actually, this should already work without this. So when I click on the bongo window, I can use my keys on the keyboard. I use the keys. I have a French keyboard. So on your keyboard, that would be A, S, D, F, and Q and W. I think it's just the letter keys to the left. So it's kind of like in a video game now. I can define where I look at. Okay, this is really like video game kind of aesthetic. Depending on the keyboard you use, as I said, I use a French keyboard. You might want to change these. So I use this AZERTY. Okay, that makes more sense. Or you're going to use the Quartz, I guess, Swiss one. Here we go. Whoops. I'm very bad at this. There we go. Oh my God. Where are we? Well, you know what? I think we can just send it a reset, hopefully. No. No, okay. We'll just need to do it by hand. Here we go. Okay, this is also moving too fast. So we can lower the speed of the movement. Let's set it to 2. And now we can make much easier slow movements. Okay, so much to our environment and our model inside the environment. Let's clean this up. Don't need this. Need this. We're going to keep this speed around. This is going to come in handy. One little trick you can do is, if you want to keep continuous movement here, is that you start a movement. Once you clicked in the bongo window, you move it, and then you click out of the window, and so it'll just continue moving here. Okay, and remember we have a handle on our head here. So if we make this handle auto rotate, I should be able to grab it when it passes by. Here we go. Now this rotates. Let's wait for another round. Here we go. Right, let's stop the movement. Here we go. Okay, whoops, too much. Move this like this, yeah. And now move the scene and click out. All right, and now when I change the speed here, I can actually change the speed of this movement. All right, or I can make negative movement to turn the other way. And all right, here we go. Cool. Now, let's go to the next step. We have our model here, and I want to show you how to interpolate between 2 models. For that, we're going to use an object called jit.gen. There's jit gen, there's gen tilde gen. It's a class of objects in Max that allow you to do like lower level patching, lower level programming in Max. We're going to use the basic jit gen here, and we're going to use a function that's called mix. And we want to mix the two models coming in. And we're going to use a parameter called mix value, which is by how much we mix them. And we declare this parameter by adding a little object called param with the same name and a default value of 0. And that's it. Now I have my jitgen object here. And I can send it a message called mixval $1, which is going to be between 0 and 1. Okay. Now we need some stuff to send in here. We already have our head over here, and we're going to add a second model. I have one of my head, which I scanned. That's me with the funny texture. And it's right here. Now, let's make this a bit bigger. I want to work on the size, scale. Yeah, let's do this 3, 3, 3. Okay, that looks good. It has the same texture as the head. That's because they're both in the same folder and I didn't rename the texture files, but kind of like it. Good. Now let's feed these two in here. And this should now allow us to scale between the two. But first we need to display the output of whatever is coming in here. So for that, we're going to use a JIT GL mesh object. Now, JIT GL mesh is good. We need to change a few more things here. We want these objects to be output as a matrix. With transformation, and same here. Okay, so we're almost there. Let's see if we can move this. So far we can't see anything, but we'll get there. JitGL mesh is a cool little object. It has a tiny help patch. Here we have a donut. So JitGL mesh basically shows us objects in different ways. We can display it as lines, as whatever this is. So it shows us abstract shapes in this way. And in the help patch, we have this little sub-patcher called point cloud. And please have a look at this. It uses the JIT grab object, which is an object to access your webcam. So I'll activate this now. And hello, you see me. Let's get rid of this donut over here. Cool. Go back to our point cloud and let's make the points a bit bigger. Okay, that's me with a lot of points. And let's add a JIT-GL handle so we can actually move this stuff around. And woo, here we go. That's me as a point cloud. It basically takes every pixel of my webcam image, and depending on the luminosity of that pixel, if it's very bright or very dark, moves it further away from the center. So whites and bright things should come out, and dark things should go down. So this is my black phone. It's in the back. And this is my white headphone case, which is on top. Let's turn it to the side. You see my phone in the bottom, and you see my headphone case sort of in the top. Yep. Anyway, can get some cool effects with this. JGL mesh should allow us to see our object here. Anything missing? I guess we need to normalize these. Oh, they are normalized. You know what? It's probably just too dark in here. Let's add a JIT-GL PBR, which will give our mesh some texture. And this has the nice parameter called metalness, which says if it's very metal or not so metal. And yeah. Let's see what's going on here. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere. I think we just can't see it because it's not displaying. Let's do the draw mode, triangle grid. Okay, let's switch this over to points. Oh yeah, here we are. Cool. And let's set this to 0. Here we go. Here we have our calavera, our skull. Let's zoom in here a bit. Yeah. Okay, I like this. Let's make these points bigger. Point mode, point size. Cool. Make these real big. And let's stop the movement of this. Okay. And here, let's have a look at this metal parameter. So if metal is 1, okay, this I can't rotate this anymore because the thing we're looking at now is the JIT mesh. So we're just gonna put the handle onto JIT mesh. Here we go. Now I can move this. So what you see is that the environment, the environment reflects in our skull. If I have metal at 0, we just get a matte skull. And we can also try out different different displays here. Let's try triangles and oops. Okay. I'm not sure the point size has an influence now when we're in triangles. All kinds of different ways of looking at it. And let's start interpolating. Now, when I move this, we get some crazy shapes until we move to 1. And here we get a representation of my head, my torso. Now, when we go further, it keeps extrapolating, giving us these noisy patterns. And let's zoom out here. Okay. And look up. Move this. Yeah, slow move is good. Move the scene. And now we can start playing around with this. So we go to the skull. You might want to change the scale of the skull too. Okay. And same here. Okay. Even bigger. And let's go back to the points. Make these really big. And here we go. By the way, we can change the background file here. For example, I used an app on my phone to do one of these 360 photos. And I should be able to load it in here. It's called robinkitchen.exr. Let's see if it loads. Nope. Maybe it's in downloads. Yeah. All right. Maybe speed this up a bit. More metal. Yeah. And why not add some lights? Light. I'm just going to copy this stuff out from the help patch. You can use Shift to just continue making connections here, huh? If you keep Shift pressed. Okay, and does this work? Yeah. That should give us some lighting. Yeah, here we go. And obviously you want to animate this. So this you would do with some data from an audio file, for example. Now try out the different ways here. Triangles can be nice to get really glitchy structures. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, final information, really important. How do you get this stuff out of jitter from your screen? How do you record it? You take it out of the JIT world using the JIT. Let's use the JIT VCR object. JIT VCR is like JIT record, but it has inputs for audio. So we're going to use that. And we have to tell the JIT world to output whatever is happening in this JIT world as a matrix, as a video matrix. So for that, you need to tell it to output the matrix. We're going to send it through a JIT matrix. It's probably not even necessary. You can go straight into JIT VCR. And now we're ready to record. So to record, you can look in the help file. It's basically write and stop. Okay. Write. We'll start writing the file. Stop will stop recording. What does it say? DSP must be enabled. Oh yeah. Okay. We don't have any audio, but it's JIT VCR. So right, we call it I don't know, Interpol Kitchen, my desktop, and now it's recording. So whatever is happening in here, so if I move stuff, all of this will get recorded. It will also record the sound, which I don't have right now. If I stop the movement, I move like this until I hit stop. There we go. Now if I go to my desktop, I have my file, Interpol Kitchen. It's huge, just for a few seconds, so watch out. You need a lot of space on your hard disk. We can convert this later into smaller files. And here we go. You can import this into Resolve or import it back into another jitter patch, or just edit it and display it, whatever. Pull it into Ableton. Have fun.